Okay, so here we've got just a normal model. I put ears on her already. So we're going to go to extensions. It doesn't really matter where you put it. Create new. Don't have to save anything temporary. So we're going to go to edit hairstyle. Now we're just going to make this in a shape that can follow the ears. Just, I like to go a little bit above it, just to make sure all the bones get in there. And you'll want to stroke from the bottom up. If you do it the other way, it won't work. Or at least it'll look silly. So, I like it to be just a little bit inside the ear, so that way, like I said, the bone gets in there and can follow the ear. It's just going to move the rotation. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to flip it. I feel that, gives me a little bit better results than just flipping it or mirroring it within the same group. And now I'm going to go to the material and I'm going to duplicate it and make sure both of them are the same material. Okay, I'm going to edit the material. And I am going to erase all of it. It doesn't work hiding the material. Blender won't read it. Okay, now it's all erased. Nothing there. Okay. Save as new item if you want. Alright. So now we're going to go and edit the hair bounce, which is adding the bones. We're going to do one at a time. Create bone group. Right? See, it still shows the ear. And make the fixed point to where you can where the ear still attaches to the head. So you want to make sure there's still a little bit of attachment, and I'm going to put the stiffness up a little bit so that way it doesn't flow as much as hair would. And 1 or 2 bones about works for ears. Otherwise they're going to be way too floppy, and we don't generally want that. I mean, you might, but it doesn't end up looking good on my end. So I'm just going to copy and paste these fixed points and the stiffness. Just to make sure that they are the same. Okay, make sure everything is the same. Here we've got to edit the bones. There we go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to overwrite this so it doesn't save a new one. Okay, now we're going to export as VRM. It'll take a second because VRoid is slow. Don't worry if this is not responding, it's just thinking. It does this a lot. Okay. So we're going to make sure that delete transparent meshes is not checked. Okay, that's good. Reduce materials, make sure combine hair mesh is also not checked. Okay, fill in this information. And always put a version. If you export to Unity, it'll give you an error if you don't, so just always make sure it is there. Okay, so now we are going to Blender. Just create a general scene, and we're going to delete the camera, cube, and light, which is selecting it and pressing delete. We're going to import our VRM, and I'll put a link on how to you know, do that or what you need to do that in the description. But this is not a tutorial on how to do that. Okay, and now we have our model. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get real close to it and we're going to click the viewport shading, which is this button right there, so we can see all the beautiful textures. Okay, and now you see that it's all one. So we're gonna make it separated. So go to mesh, separate by material. Okay, but now you see the ears are still together, so we're gonna separate them. So go to your edit again. Okay, now we're going to view the X-ray, which is that button I just clicked. And we're gonna select this, all of that. Sometimes you might select a little bit of the other ear, so you just deselect that, which is basically control, hold down control and drag. And then to select the other part is just hold down shift and drag. Okay, now we're going to go to mesh again, and we're going to go to separate by selection this time. Okay, and now you see that the ears are by themselves, which is what we're looking for. So now we're going to find where we have that transparent hair, and we're going to shift, click the ear. Now we're going to go to weight paint. Okay, now we're going to go to weights, transfer weights, right here. Okay, and where it says transfer mesh data, we're going to go to the source layer, and we're going to do by name. Okay, now we're going to go back to object mode. We're going to do the same to the other ear. So select that first, select that second. It has to be in that order. Okay, weights. Transfer weights, just make sure it's by name. I like to click it again just to make sure. Okay, go back to object mode. Okay, now we're going to export your VRM. Okay, we're just gonna name it ear wiggle tutorial done. Export your VRM. It might take a second. Loading, loading, loading. Okay, so now we're going to open up VSeeface. Okay, we're going to load that in. And if all went correctly, you should have some nice wiggle physics. Look at that. Look at her ears wiggle. Alright, I hope this tutorial helps you. It's better than adding bones in Blender, I think.